welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Stacy and I'm the chapter conundrum, and this is my lovely husband Jake, the Bookish drummer, and we're here today to talk about all of the fantasy read-alongs we have planned on our Discord next year, so in 2025, and there'll be one book a month. We have 3 series we're going to get through.
We just can't help ourselves.
Yeah. We like a good read-along.
Several.
And we cannot die.
So for January, February, and March, we're going to be doing the Genuine Bastards series. Obviously with the first book being The Lies of Locke Lamora, one of my personal favorite fantasy books. And obviously for February, we'll be doing book 2, Red Seas Under Red Skies. And then book 3 in March, The Republic of Thieves.
Yes, so I have previously read and enjoyed book 1, Lies of Locke Lamora. And I have been meaning to get around to the sequels, and it hasn't happened yet. And at this point, I need to reread book 1 to remember things. You're just ready for a reread.
Haven't you already read book 1 twice?
Yes. But it hasn't, listen. Listen, I was all set to jump into book 2. I reread book 1 so I could do it. And then I hit a massive reading slump. And then you came to Canada to visit me. And it all just went downhill from there.
So it's my fault.
Yeah. I'm blaming you.
So for anyone who doesn't know, who's been living under a rock, this series is a lot of fun. And all of the books, of course, by Scott Lynch. And the selling point for me is that it's high stakes fantasy.
It's a character-driven heist story. So if you are a fan of Six of Crows and you're looking to transition into more adult content, this is perfect entry.
And for me, it's got one of the best friendships of all time of Locke Lamora and Jean. Their friendship, their relationship is kind of one of the main reasons why I love this book so much. And their banter back and forth, their camaraderie, it's just top notch.
Yeah. What he said.
Yeah. And for some people, it can kind of get a little getting used to because of the structure of the book. You're constantly flipping back and forth between the present timeline and the past timeline. So when you're first starting out, it might be a little weird and it might take a little getting used to. But for me, it once you get used to it, it just clicks, and you can see why Scott Lynch is doing it that way, and it's very rewarding by the end.
I will also chime in and just say we both highly recommend this series on audio. The first time I read this, I almost DNF'd it. But when I tried it with the audiobook, it was much more engaging.
Yeah, the audio narrator just really brings the story to life.
Yeah.
And he even makes all of the world building aspects very intriguing.
Yeah.
And just the characters are so much better. And you can kind of tell, like, if you're reading it just by the page, you might not be able to pick up on a lot of the humor that Scott Lynch is using. But the way the narrator does it, you can tell the banter between the characters. Like, it's very funny at times.
Yeah. I also really enjoy the political aspects that are kind of brewing in the background of the story, and the magic system that's introduced here. We don't get a ton of information on it in the first book, and so I'm very eager to continue the series to see how that all unfolds and comes into play.
So for me, I've actually read all 3 books, and I've been eagerly awaiting book 4 for quite a while now. But I can tell y'all that I know a lot of people say that the first book is the best and the rest of the books aren't quite as good. For me, it's one of my all-time favorite series. I give all 3 books 5 stars. So Red Seas Under Red Skies, it's got a ship on it, so you can kind of tell where the story's going from there. A lot of it takes place on ships and nautical stuff. Really good. And Republic of Thieves definitely leads into more kind of like political stuff going on. So all three books, they're not standalones, but they definitely tell a complete story.
Yeah. And with the announcement of forthcoming novellas to bridge the gap between book 3 and book 4, it's a perfect time to jump back into the series or to jump into it for the first time. And hopefully we get those soon.
Yeah, like I've said, book 3 came out, I think, in like 2013, and I probably read it like 2014, 2015. So I've been waiting a long time for him to continue the series. And it's a very good sign that we're seeing some future novellas coming.
Yeah. And if they do happen to drop in 2025, we will also put channels in the Discord for them as well.
Definitely excited for a reread and definitely excited to get your reactions. Oh, that's upside down. But I'm definitely excited to get your reactions to book 2 and 3.
Yeah, it should be a good time. And hopefully you guys decide to join us and read it with us.
Do it.
So then, starting in the month of April, we're going to be tackling a 7-book series. So it's going to take 7 months. And this is a popular one that I have some big time FOMO about.
Me too.
You too. Okay, that's interesting because it's not really what I would consider Jake's typical genre. But a lot of our friends who have checked it out have really been loving it. And they also say it's great for reread. So I think a few of them are even excited to join in on the read along as well.
Let's not tease them anymore. What is the series?
All right, it's going to be Dungeon Crawler Carl. And so April, book 1, Dungeon Crawler Carl. May, Carl's Doomsday Scenario.
And then book 3 for June, The Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook. And for July, book 4, The Gate of the Feral Gods.
And then August is The Butcher's Masquerade. September is The Eye of the Bedlam Bride. And by then, in October, book 7 will be out.
Which is This Inevitable Ruin.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7-book series. A lot of people say that this series is really compelling through audiobooks.
Yes, very compelling, very bingeable, has a great animal companion in a cat named Donut.
Yeah, this all just sounds like fun. And like you said, it's not necessarily maybe something that I'm used to reading, but through channels like Ian, our good buddy Ian, the reader, and a bunch of other people, I think Amanda was reading this.
Been reading it.
A lot of people have really been digging this series, so I'm definitely excited to see what it's all about.
Yeah, me too. It's one that everyone who's tried it, even though they have very different reading tastes, seem to all enjoy. So I'm very curious to try it out.
Yeah, and if you look at the ratings, even on Audible here, like all of the books literally have like 5-star ratings, like throughout. And then I'm sure if I go on Goodreads, it would be, pretty good ratings. Although that doesn't necessarily always mean that I'm going to love it. Like Red Rising has really good ratings, but but anyway, the first book has a 4.5.
4.53.
Holy crap. And then the rest of the books all, pretty much have 4.5s, 4.6s. So yeah, it's basically universally loved. So if I don't like this book, I think something might be wrong with me.
And you're locked in for 7 months.
Well, I mean, if I don't like the first few books, I won't continue.
Yeah,
but
we'll just read it without them.
I assume that I'm going to really enjoy this series.
Yeah. And I'm eager to meet Donut. And then in the months of November and December, we're going to be tackling a duology. What is the series called?
You don't even know?
Oh, I do know.
Baby.
It's the Traitor God duology. So we have the Traitor God and the God of Broken Things. And I don't know a ton about this, but from what I do know, this plays heavily into some of my tastes and my favorite things in fantasy. So we have sort of darker fantasy and a revenge plot. I think the main character, this book 1, the main character, his friend gets murdered. And I think through some kind of magic, he feels what's happening. And it's his quest for revenge.
And you want to know the main reason why I'm excited for it?
Why?
Because it's a duology. It's only 2 books.
Well, it's a series on our shelves that we've been meaning to get to for a while.
Yeah. We've had these books for a while.
Yep.
And hopefully you guys will want to join us for it.
I've heard good things from one of my friends who's read it, so.
All right. So yes, that's 3 series that hopefully y'all will join us for.
Yeah. So those are all the books we planned for our 2025 fantasy read-alongs on the Bookish Drummer Discord. Here's hoping you guys are excited about what we've chosen. Let us know down below in the comments if you are going to be joining us for any of these read-alongs, if you've already read any of these series, what you thought about them if you have. Do you think Jake and I will enjoy them?
Well, I know I'm going to enjoy a lot Clamora.
Well, yeah. Same.
And link down below, by the way, for the Bookish Drummer Discord to sign up.
And for Jake's channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Nope.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye.
Bye. End it!